about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics. Let's talk about comics.
Around there, YouTube. It is Charles here, and it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It is time for my new comic book unboxing this week from MidtownComics.com, located in New York, available online at MidtownComics.com. Check them out if you haven't. They have a lot of flash sales to go on, up to 75% off, even low as 99-cent book sales. That when you get signed up for the mailing list, they will go ahead and email you reminders of these sales when they pop up, and they ship nationwide, and their books are slightly discounted. That being said, you're not here for the rambling, you're here for the comic books. So let's see what I got this week. I always open the books up on video so you can see the safety and security with which your packages will or will not be sent. Now, generally, with larger orders, they send a box with bubble wrap. When you have smaller orders, it's usually a flat package that is tightly wrapped. But I've only had one issue with Midtown Comics as far as the order getting damaged. And before the order even got here, they had it rerouted back to them and replaced for me. And on top of that, if your books are damaged once you get inside the package, it's a very simple email process to get that taken care of. So once we get into the box, past the bubble wrap, we have the receipt. You don't need to see that. And we have the Midtown Comics brown paper bag. And once we get into the bag, all of the books are individually bagged and boarded. Man, I got a lot this week. Let's start with one that's not for me, but for a friend of mine. It's I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. This is the Volume 1 trade paperback from Image Comics /12 Gauge. She really digs this book, and so I got it for her as kind of a surprise. It's to my friend Mary that you guys have seen me going comic shopping with before. That's my comic book buddy. So I got that for her trade paperback, available now from Image Comics. And then start with my stuff here. We have Birds of Prey. This is number 28 from DC Comics. Next, we have one from Dynamite Comics, Vampirella Hell Day 2025 Special. The holiday edition of Vampirella. You got her sitting on the Christmas set type thing. I think, is that a chimney? That is a chimney with a skull and tentacles coming up around it. So you get a little bit of that campy humor and horror mixed in. Great cover. And I have not read a Vampirella holiday special that I did not enjoy, so I'm really looking forward to that. Next, we have Black Ritual, the Book of Nyx, number 7. This is a very enjoyable series. It's not in the current timeline of Spawn. It is a prequel, but if you're reading Spawn right now, you may know Nyx as the ruler of Hell, who is plotting to take over Earth and Heaven. This is back when she was a human before she died and before she was installed in the throne of hell by Al Simmons. Very, very good book. And that is from Image Comics / Todd McFarlane production. Let's see, did Todd write this issue? Who wrote this issue? Okay, Thomas Healy wrote it, and the art is by Nat Jones. But one thing I like about the Spawn universe is Todd will actually get hands-on with a lot of different books in that universe still. So I really enjoy that. And it creates a sense of consistency throughout the series. Next, we have G.I. Joe, number 15. This is part 3 of 5 of the Dreadnought War. We got Zorana on the cover. If you can't tell by the shirt, I'm a big G.I. Joe fan. I'm loving this G.I. Joe series. And you note that it's not G.I. Joe, a real American hero, but just G.I. Joe. The Real American Hero imprint, that's one that's been going through multiple companies for multiple decades. But this is part of the Energon universe, which includes Transformers. So it's a very fun book, kind of a resetting. We have certain characters that end up dying in this series that are series regulars, and characters who have died in previous series that are just reintroduced into this one. And we have new alliances that are unexpected. And this is a very fun angle. At the end of it, I'm going to give away one spoiler. At the end of number 15, you get to see the first appearance of Road Pig in this G.I. Joe series. And so, slight spoiler, I know, but it's a very, very fun book. Oddly enough, I found out that despite not being in a cartoon of any type, just in comics and toy form, Road Pig is still a very, very popular character amongst G.I. Joe collectors, so that's interesting. Okay, it's interesting to me. Next, from IDW, we have Star Trek Red Shirts. This is number 5. I'm really enjoying this. This is a different look at the Star Trek universe. It's about the security team, otherwise known as the Red Shirts, whose lives are more perilous than your average Starfleet officer. And they're seen as more expendable. And that is really kind of a survival war story going on there. It's a little bit grim, but entertaining. And like I said, it's a look at the G.I. Joe universe. You know, there's the joke of the red shirts always getting cannon fodder, but when you look at the reality of that, you know, it's a very deep story. It says a lot about the Star Trek universe. Next, we have from DC Comics, Superman Unlimited, number 7. Generally not a big Superman fan, but I've really been enjoying this series and what is the other? Absolute Superman. It kind of, in my opinion, the Absolute Superman has a little bit more edge to him, which makes him a little bit more relatable than the, you know, always altruistic, goody two-shoes guy. And then Superman Unlimited is just kind of a different look at him. And, yeah, I enjoy it. That's all right. And then next we have a back issue and a new book from Image Comics, Rook Exodus, number 8 and 9. I'm getting caught up on that series. I hopped on about number 4 and really, really enjoying it. Kind of a dystopian space story. Yeah. Dystopian, end of the world, space adventure, I guess you would say. And that's also from Image Comics, if I did not mention that. I know, I do a lot of Image Comics stuff. So much I would actually consider changing the name of the channel to reflect that. But it's just what I'm into right now, and I think that the quality of companies goes up and down. And while right now Image Comics may be my favorite company, next year it might be DC. Next year it might be Dynamite again. There were a couple of years ago when Dynamite comics were about 90% of what I was reading, and I read no Image Comics. But that's the great thing about the comic book industry and collecting, is that there is something for everybody and so much variety. So let's get back to the comic books here. We have Absolute Green Lantern, number 9, from DC Comics. I really, really enjoyed this iteration of Green Lantern. I was not familiar with the lore before this, but this is one of the books that when I get it, it's a day one read. I do not put that one on. Okay, next we have Batgirl, number 13, from DC Comics. This is a series I was really into when it first started, and then it kind of got pushed to the back burner. I've been letting the issues stack up in my collection, but I'm getting back into it now, and it is very well written. In the last issue, she just met this character who is her brother that she didn't know about. So that's a different Batgirl. It's not Barbara Gordon, the greatest superhero of all time, in my opinion. It is Cassie under the mantle of Batgirl. Okay. Next we have from Titan Comics, Heat Seeker Exposed #4. I really enjoy this series now. A bit of a disclaimer, this series, if you cannot tell by the cover, is geared more toward adults. There is nudity and obscene language, but the storytelling is solid, the art is very good, and the action is next level. I wouldn't suggest this for your kid or even teenager, but if you are a fan of action and you like this kind of stuff, check it out. It's a good read. Coming down to the last two books we have from Boom Studios. Something is Killing the Children, #45. This is the critically acclaimed and well-deservingly so. Something is Killing the Children, about this underground network of monster hunters who kill monsters that only children can see. Very, very good writing. As far as when you have collectives that are not as deep a collector as I am, that's going to be something that they know. It's one of the more mainstream comics that people are really into nowadays. And like I said, deservingly so. It's well written. I've always said from the beginning of this channel is I will rarely, if ever, review a Something is Killing the Children book because it is so well covered and deservingly so on YouTube. A lot of creators talk about it. I may have done 1 or 2 reviews. I think I did a review on the one-shot special and maybe another issue, but it is so well covered. I don't feel the need to cover it on this channel, but trust me, it's a great series. And last but not least, speaking of great series, this is Kill All Immortals 2. This is issue #2. And this right here follows a family of immortals. And this character right here on the cover, our protagonist, she, after centuries of being immortal and amassing wealth and power, she rejected her immortality and sought to fight against her family to destroy the source of the immortality, which she did in the first series. But at the end of that series, we find out that her family of the Norse gods were not the only family that inherited immortality. And we got a kind of a sneak peek cliffhanger of another family that was going to try to fill the vacuum of this family. It was led by the crime boss, Genghis Khan. Yes, the famous warlord in this series had survived because he had attained immortality and continued running Asia. So, very interesting book, very fun book. Despite the deep lore, very easy to get into. And the thing I like about this is in the first series, the character was not just a simple-minded, one-dimensional character. She spent the whole first series trying to destroy the source of her family's immortality, not so much to destroy them, but to free them from the entrapment that she felt from immortality. And when she found out the person helping her wasn't so altruistic, she turned on him and aligned with her family. And she is aligned with her family in this battle against Genghis Khan. So, very good writing, very good art. And this is from Dark Horse Comics. So that's what I got for this week. Let me know in the comments what you guys got. If there's anything you think that I should be checking out that you haven't seen on the channel, let me know, because I'm always looking for new series. And stay tuned to the channel, because for the rest of this month, every Thursday we're going to be doing a new G.I. Joe unboxing. And that's going to be through the 1st of January. So until next year's, we're unboxing G.I. Joes every Thursday, doing comic book reviews. Most other days, Tuesday we do a preview of what's coming up on Wednesdays, and Wednesdays, of course, is this video, my comic book hauls. So stay tuned to the channel if you love nerd content, and I will see you next time. Until then, keep reading them books. You know I will.